Thanks guys, welcome to the fourth video of Introduction to New Zealand Electricity Market. I hope you've enjoyed the market players video and you have reviewed the notes and you have a basic understanding. Let's jump into the fourth video and see what we have to cover. In this slide, we will be covering about New Zealand spot market and how the spot market works. I will walk you through the working of the New Zealand spot market. What is NIWA? So NIWA is a weather agency in New Zealand. I will show you what reports does it show and what impact does it have. And then the third part is EMI reporting, which is a very good tool introduced by Electricity Authority. So I will walk you through different reports that EMI has. It is kind of a data sharing platform that Electricity Authority has published, where they publish a lot of historical data related to electricity spot market, hydro storage levels. The fourth part that I will cover is hydro storages, because hydro storages is a really important topic to discuss when you're covering New Zealand electricity market. So let's just jump into the New Zealand spot market first and see how it works. In this section, I'll be covering how the New Zealand spot market works. Just a heads up before I get into the detail. If at any point you feel that you did not understand anything, just message me and feel free to reach out to me via message and I can resolve your queries, because I understand spot market could be a very complicated topic. So what's the spot market? The purpose of the spot market is to basically match the electricity supply from power stations with real-time consumption, or to meet the demand. The physical operation of the market is managed by Transpower. So Transpower manages the electricity system so that the electricity supply and demand is matched simultaneously. And since there are no batteries currently in New Zealand, so the electricity supply by generator has to match exactly the demands, just to make sure that there are no blackouts in the system. So as I've mentioned previously, spot market is where electricity is matched and calculated. Generators that are bigger than 10 megawatt are connected to the New Zealand grid, and they compete in the spot market for the right to generate electricity in order to meet the demand. However, this is subject to constraints in some regions, such as available transmission capacity. In New Zealand, it's basically a half hourly spot market. That is, supply has to be matched with demand every 30 minutes. And the system operator ranks offer in order of price and then selects the lowest combination of resources to satisfy demand, ensuring that there is actually a reliable supply. In doing so, system operator also considers the cost of losses around the transmission system. That means a generator with low offer price may not be dispatched if that generator is a long away from the load or the demand centers. You also have to remember that as demand and supply changes over the course of the day, spot prices are different in each period. Prices can vary by location because of the cost of getting electricity from generators to consumers. Generally, prices are high in locations that are further away from the main power system. The system operator then uses all that information, like the bids, offer, expected demand, to also model like forecast or price ahead in real time. And the forecast prices are basically regularly monitored by Electricity Authority if they are meeting the demand or not. So Transpower is responsible for the scheduling, pricing, and dispatch. They use a central software for scheduling, pricing, and dispatch, and comparing the bids and offer, and then selecting the best price as well. And there's a clearing manager who does all the process and the settlement for every 30 minutes of pricing. So if in the next section you'll watch the future section, or if you have already watched it, I mentioned that North Island and South Island, there's a bit of a price disconnect between both the regions. And when you look at the spot market, you will find out that there's a price disconnect in the spot market as well between the North Island and the South Island region. And the reason is that North Island is a high demand center region, while South Island has got more supply or sufficient supply to meet demand. Hence, there's a both spot price and futures price disconnect in the region. In the next section, I just wanted to take some time and explain this to you in detail about how the spot market works, how Transpower picks up the largest bid, how Transpower picks up the bid and the price from the different generators in order to make sure that the demand is met and then there's a reliable supply. In the next slide, we'll jump onto the different nodes because New Zealand market is, although it's a small market, it's slightly complicated. So I'll explain you now that you have a basic understanding of how the spot market works on a 30 minutes basis, where the role of Transpower is to match supply with demand and picking up the least cost generator, considering the subject to constraints in that location. I'll jump into the next slide and explain in detail how that works in New Zealand. This slide basically gives you a bit of a more detailed view around the spot market in New Zealand. So trading takes place at 285 nodes or grid injection points or grid exit points in New Zealand for every 30 minutes. Generators make offers at around 59 grid injection points. Large users and retailers make bids to buy at around 226 grid points. So you may be realizing, and every node in New Zealand has got a different pricing. So nodes in North Island will have a different pricing. Nodes in South Island will have a different pricing. In the notes, I will share a link where you can see pricing for all different nodes. They are published by EMI, and there are also several other dashboards available online where you can see the pricing for different nodes. Pricing at each node takes into account grid losses and constraints. All electricity generated is through a central pool, except with the exception of small generators. Bids and offers start 36 hours before the actual real-time consumption or trading period, and up to 4 hours for the pre-dispatch before the trading period starts. A new forecast price is calculated to guide the market participants, and then from 4 hours to the start of the trading period, every half hour a dispatch price is calculated and then communicated with the market. Also, 1 hour before the start of the trading period, bids and offers can no longer be revised except if there are few exceptions, because Transpower has to take into account the load forecast and then system reliability. So when it comes to marginal loss factors, New Zealand has got dynamic marginal loss factors that are calculated along with the 30-minute pricing in New Zealand. This is just a link that I've added in the notes. If you Google New Zealand electricity market electricity dashboards, you'll find a lot of links, and this is just one of them. You can basically find the link in the notes, have a look, and then play around with different things. It will tell you the pricing in different nodes, generation by fuel type, and generation in different locations. When it comes to dashboard, Transpower is also pretty good at publishing live information. So when you go to the Transpower link or you just Google Transpower live data, it will provide you summary. What's the load in North Island? What's the load in South Island? What's the overall load across New Zealand on a real-time basis? And you can see that I've got this in a real-time basis. HVDC transfer, which is the transfer, which is how much flow is between South Island and North Island. Currently, you can see that you've got 91% renewables. It also provides you current generation any recent market notices. So that's also a very good source for exploring if you're interested in real-time information for New Zealand. Overall, you can have a look at the Transpower website. I've added the link in the notes, and it provides very useful information throughout. This is one of the links that I was talking about in the start of the video that we will be covering. So if you just Google EMI Electricity Authority, I've just added the link in the notes as well. So Electricity Authority basically publishes a number of reports to give you demand trends, wholesale price trends, even future price trends. If you go in wholesale and you go in reports, you'll find a lot of useful reports that will give you information around the bid stack, the generation trends, the HVDC transfer, how's the reserve frequency market doing as well. So this is basically a very useful trend. And if you go in wholesale price trends, you would be able to select prices on a node level as well, and that gives you the option of choosing the prices for different nodes going back to as long as you want as well. So this is a very good source for someone who's new to the electricity market. I would suggest going through these reports and playing around the link. You can also have a look at the reports from forward market and also look at the reports from the environmental market. I'm already a part of the forum, and if you feel that you need assistance with the reports, just feel free to reach out. If you're in New Zealand, it's really important because the major part of the electricity generation is hydro dominated. It is very significant that you understand the weather. So if you are in Australia, you've got Bureau of Meteorology, which is called BOM. But if you're in New Zealand, you will have the National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research, which is called as NIWA. It provides all the seasonal outlooks, air temperature, rainfall updates. And if you are a buyer or seller of electricity in New Zealand, it is very important for you to understand their quarterly or monthly updates and understand the impact of weather that will be impacting rainfall, dryness, both across North Island and South Island. So this is just NIWA's website. I've added the link in the notes as well. And then you've got their seasonal climate outlook, which is like really significant to understand. And you will see that they have a video as well. They have long-term averages, forecast temperatures, rainfall, and there's a lot of description behind each and every region. So it's a very good source for traders, again, buyers and sellers of electricity to understand the New Zealand weather forecast, particularly the impact on rainfall across South Island and what will be the impact on demand on North Island. I guess the other and the more significant part in New Zealand is understanding hydro storages and why hydro storages are so important for New Zealand. So this is a chart which I've taken from the environmental reports of the EMI reporting. If you look at the notes, I've shared the link over there, and EMI reporting as I covered in the previous slide. So this is one of the reports from EMI which is showing the historical electricity risk curves. And over here, I'm just plotting the New Zealand hydro storage levels, which are across New Zealand, starting from 2010 up to date. And you can see that there's a bit of a seasonal trend over here, that there is a dip and then it goes up. So hydro storages in New Zealand are subject to how much snow has been there, how the weather has been there. You can see 2020 looks pretty good in terms of hydro storages, and then there was a significant dip as well New Zealand has seen in the past couple of years some dry years as well, where hydro storages have dropped, particularly if you look in between 2017 and 2018, where we had a dry year pattern, which is El Nino. That was across Australia and New Zealand, and you can see that there is a dip in the hydro storages, and then back again in 2019 that there is a big dip in terms of hydro storages. So the reason why I have added this over here is that hydro storages play a key role in terms of defining what the prices in New Zealand will be looking like, both the spot prices and the futures prices. Particularly if you have sufficient hydro storages, then prices won't be high. In New Zealand, there are different hydro storages in New Zealand and areas where there are key hydro catchment areas as well, which are important to understand for the security of supply and what the levels might be looking like for those regions. But overall, this gives you a bit of a picture and reason why hydro storage levels are very significant in terms of understanding not only the futures but also the spot price movement in New Zealand.